Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday morning. It's the day after Christmas. Good morning. Good morning. I think I closed my office door. Looks like it. Ain't trying to wake up the rest of the house because I'm doing YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Checking out what the price action is doing this here morning. SPX is at 69.30. I'll give the platforms a chance to tell the people that we're here. Tell the people that we're here. Yes, telling the people that we are here. Tell the people that we're here. Good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning, all. One and all. One and all. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We're the day after. 'Twas the day after Christmas. When things are quiet, the day after Christmas. It's a little, a little quiet in here after Christmas. Yes, it usually is. A little quiet in here. And quiet in your place. Everybody done opened up their stuff, whether they played with it or they put it to the side. Perhaps some people got a new car. I saw some new cars online. Some people got some new cars. I said, ooh, people got a new car. They got a new car. Look at them. Oh, Pastor Will said it's cold. It's cold in Philly. Oh, have a cheesesteak for me. At least one bite. That's all I remember about Philly is the cheesesteak. I went to Philly one time when I was in college. I must admit, if I'm being transparent, I was falling behind some boy. And went to Philly. I went to the was it Freaknik? I think it was Freaknik. I went to Freaknik. I was in college. Drove to Philly, hung out, had a cheesesteak. It was delicious. Delicious. Yes. But I know it's cold up there, and I'll pass because I'm in Florida. It's cold enough down here. It's 54, which isn't cold for us, but it's cool. Cool. 54 for us is cool. It's light jacket, sweater weather, just kind of light around here. Hey, Melissa, good morning. It's a little cool, but it's not cold down here, which I don't like it cold. Y'all already know. You listen to me long enough, you know I don't like it cold. I don't like it when it's cold. So y'all can keep that northern weather, that cold up north. 29X, no. X, no. I will pass. I will pass. Morning, Val. Definitely will pass on 29 degrees. That's frozen water. Negative. When I lived in China, I've lived up north too. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky for 4 years, so I know what cold is like. But China felt different kind of cold, but I know what cold is like. And I had me a little bit of a weather-based depression because not only it would get, in Florida, it'll be cool in the morning. And then as the sun comes out, it would get warmer in the daytime and then it would get cool at night. That's the kind of cold I'm used to. Cold in the morning, warm up through the day, and then cold again at night. But I'm not used to cold in the morning, gets colder as the day goes on, and then still cold at night. See, I'm not used to cold, get colder, stay cold. I'm not used to that. I was not used to that. I was definitely not used to that. I was not used to it. So I went into me a little bit of a weather-induced depression that I didn't know. I knew people would talk about it. I never experienced it, but then I did because the weather was very muggy and very wet and dreary, and it was just cold, and you had to put on all these layers to go anywhere because if you just put on, I'm used to just being on, a shirt and a coat or a jacket and that being enough. That's all I ever experienced. And then you'd put on, you'd get in the car that was warm, hop in and out of the car. Well, When we lived in China, you didn't in and out of cars. We rode, you either walked places, you did public transportation. So you needed to stay layered up multiple, and you had to keep that on almost all day, because no matter where you were, it was cold. No matter what building, because they also didn't do insulation like we do here in the States. They, concrete inside and outside feel about the same. Anyway, it was cold no matter where you went. When it was cold everywhere. Unless you went to the mall, because the mall, they spend a little more money on heat in the mall. But anyway, I vowed after living there. I'm going somewhere with the story. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I vowed when I lived there, I vowed never to live cold again. I vowed not to live where it was cold again. I was no longer interested in that. So I said, there's that. I'm not living where it's cold again. Because you know what? I'm a whole adult and I get to make choices. I get to choose where I live, and I'm choosing, and I've chosen not to live where it's cold no more. No. All right. Well, good morning, all. I see that my day has showed up, and so has Ward. Amen. Amen. I get to choose, Pastor Will. The Lord has given me choices. He's given me choices. And he said, I get to choose life. And cold is not life for me. That is not the life. That's not the abundant life the Lord would have for me. So, I'm not choosing that for me. I'm not choosing that for me no more. Nope, and nope. It's cool here, though. I mean, it's cool enough. I like, interestingly enough, though, I like the 4 seasons. I just don't like harsh seasons. I don't like the extremes. I'm cool with getting a little cooler, cool enough. And then, I don't mind Georgia cool. Because it gets a little cooler in Georgia. I don't even mind South Carolina cool, because I lived in South Carolina a while. I didn't mind South Carolina cool. I just don't like cold, like bone chilling cold. No. But I do like white Christmas. I like when y'all have snow. I like watching other people snow. I don't want it for me. I like it for y'all, but I don't want it for me. So yeah, there's that. Okay, good morning. I've talked enough about the cold versus the non-cold weather. And we can look at today. So now Wednesday, oh my. Wednesday, okay, first of all, SPX 500 right now is at 69.33. SPX is at 69.33. It's doing the futures was still running while Christmas was down. The market was closed. Futures was still doing its thing. Some of that time. I don't trade futures, so I don't really know exactly what it was doing. But SPX closed on Wednesday at 69.32. It closed early, closed at 1 o'clock at 69.32. Okay. It's now at 69.33. So it's like around the same place it was on Wednesday when it closed. All right. But let's go look at what did SPX do. Nope, I want you to stay there. What did SPX do on Wednesday? We had a green day on Wednesday. Okay, it was green on Wednesday. Green. This is Wednesday. If you're watching me, let's go ahead and get on about our show. Get on about the show. I made a post yesterday about those blueberry cheesecake croissants from Costco. I got some. We ate some with our breakfast yesterday. I did breakfast with my children and the family yesterday, and I had some. I thought mine were good. I heated them up. My daughter didn't feel very good. She had hers. She thought they were okay, but she also didn't feel good. My son said he didn't like them, but he ate his after he had eaten everything else. My son is 35, 36, 34, 35, somewhere in there. And he had eaten everything else. He had eaten pancakes and biscuits and sausage and bacon. And he had eaten grits and eggs. He had eaten everything else. Then he tasted the blueberry cheesecake croissant and said he didn't like it. So I don't know if there was, and I don't like it because he had already had all those other flavors on his taste buds or what. But my son eats and likes most things. So for him to say I don't like it, he just didn't like it. So I liked mine. My husband can't eat cheese. He can't eat dairy, so he couldn't taste it and give his opinion. Okay, but I think you should try it. I think you should try them. So anyway, this was Wednesday on SPX. Basically green all day. We rode above VWAP all day long. Did hit some support at 69.35. Went up as high as 69.37, 38. Went up there. There was a pivot at 69.38. So 69.37 is where it reversed. Pulled back a little bit and closed at 69.32. Actually, after it got up here in this area, even according to Gamma, there literally was no more push. SPX had pushed all day. It had pushed from 69.04 all the way up to 69.37. That's a lot of pushing. 30 points for with no volume or very little volume, because we're talking about Christmas Eve on a short day. Things are closed. There's not a lot of volume, but it continued to push about 30 points that day. This is not a massive push, but it stayed green all day is the point I'm making. And it pulled back to 69.32 is where it closed on Wednesday. Okay. So we got us some PCS money, some put credit spread money, and then got a little bit of call credit spread money because I went and got me 69.40 at the end of the day after it decided to turn back. I got me some 69.40 call credit spread money and got a little bit on the top side as well. That's what we did on Wednesday. Hey, Deborah, and hey, Lisa. Good morning. Good morning. All right, that was Wednesday. So today we're looking at what does the morning hold for us, okay? What does today hold? Full day probably still won't have a lot of volume because it's the day after Christmas. It's Friday. Just know Fridays are Fridays, first of all. Fridays are Fridays, and we're going to treat it as such. And probably not a great deal of volume. We're most likely still in the Christmas rally. This VIX being at 14.15 lets us know that VIX is down, market is probably up. Those two are inverses. So we'll trade what we see. All right. We trade accordingly, right? Trade what you can see though. If you've got a lot going on, family events, y'all off post-Christmas shopping, getting the 50 and 75% off deals of all the Christmas stuff that they put on sale that people didn't buy, like the Christmas decorations, the trees put on sale, the wrapping paper, yada, yada. If you're going to buy all that stuff, you're going to be out in these streets, then trade light, okay? Trade light, okay? 14.15 is the VIX. That's where we are with that. Yahoo Finance, Intel stock soared. I don't know about soared in 2025, but soared. Everything hinges on what comes next. Intel's rebound meets reality. It took 10 years to break it. Why would it take less than 10 years to fix it? Okay, now that part's probably true. I'm going to take a little bit. Stock futures steady with Santa Claus rally in focus. Tim Cook just gave Nike a much needed holiday boost. Not sure what he did. Gold and silver smash records again as rally gains steam. 2025 has been a brutal year for layoffs. Here's where the cuts have hit. AI boom adds 500 billion to net worth. Biggest tech billionaires. Yeah. How Oracle became a poster child for AI bubble fears. What's ahead for stocks and gold in 2026? Oil jumps, heads for the biggest weekly rise since October. Nvidia's 15 biggest moments in blockbuster 2025. Snowstorm disrupts holiday travel at New York City airports. Trump has promised aggressive housing reform next year. Okay. Trump overturned decades of U.S. trade policies in 2025. See the impact of his tariffs. All right, so that's what's said on Yahoo Finance. Let's move forward to CNBC. At this point, CNBC, the Dow futures and S&P futures is kind of flat. Dow futures is down 50. Dow futures down about 50. NASDAQ futures is up 15. Oil is green. 10-year bonds are red. Stock futures are little change. Wall Street heads for a winning week. Europe is FTSE and CAC are red. FTSE Milano and DAX are both green. Stocks 600 is unchanged. European markets close mixed. Novo Nordisk shares jumped 9%, extending the rally after the GLP-1 pill approval. That's a thing right there. Those pills getting approved is a big deal. ASX 200 and Nifty 50 are red in Asia, and Nikkei, Hang Seng, and Shanghai are all green. Asia markets edge higher amid holiday-thinned trade. Gold and silver hit fresh highs. Crypto is at 88,000 Bitcoin. Ethereum, Solana, and XRP are green. Dogecoin is red, but barely. It's down 0.00 1. So it's barely red. As far as the calendar goes, no, nothing is scheduled for as far as Forex goes. Forex doesn't have anything on its calendar for today, but investing.com does have the oil rig count happening at 1 o'clock. That happens every Friday around this time. So there's that. Okay. Went there. Just before I move here, I always have this up on my screen, but I very rarely talk about it. I have a freebies page where you can go and check out the freebies. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Um, it's a page where I have all these freebies, E2T-freebies, and I won't go through what's all here, but I'll give you the link here, E2Tfreebies.com. But basically, it's 3 things to check before you trade. Set up success for 5 minutes or less. You can go on here, and this is basically the page where all of the free things that I offer rest. Okay, all the stuff that I offer for free rest here. Chart your way to 100K. 7 mistakes traders make to keep them from 7 figures. There's a free charting webinar for those who don't chart. 0 DTE strategies. Stock options for beginners. What's the best trading strategy for your personality? 5 hacks for trading SPX. So on and so forth. Joining our communities. All the things are here. Okay. So you can go to that page and you can go and grab anything that I have there for free. You can go ahead and grab all the free sources, E2T-freebies.com. I've got, new people are, new people have come into my ecosystem by way of copy trading, and there's things that I have available to you that you may not know that are available. So I wanted you to see that there's good stuff, free stuff at a particular page. Okay, so make sure that you get, and if you're reading any of my newsletters, I send out a newsletter once a week. If you read those newsletters, all these things are available or mentioned inside of that newsletter. So you can always find the stuff that I have over there. Okay, let's see what Adam's talking about this morning. Let's see what Adam is talking about. On Tuesday, we got a long trigger for the Santa rally. Ooh, I was kicking myself on Wednesday because I so meant Wednesday morning to buy a call. First thing Wednesday morning, I meant to buy a call, and I forgot it. And by the time I saw it moving, I was like, shucks, I really meant to buy a call on Wednesday morning. I would have got them 30 points that it rolled up on Wednesday. I actually meant to buy it Tuesday afternoon when Adam mentioned it, but I forgot. Anyway, the 68.76 failed breakdown. Wednesday targets given at 8 a.m. were 69.33, 69.40. Approximately 69.40 is the exact high. Very close, very, very close. 69.37, I think, was as high as SPX got on Wednesday. Plan, hold your runner. 69.25 is support. 69.25 is support. Put these on your chart. Watch your traps. 69.33, 48, and 53 are up next. 69.33, 40, is that a 6? 46 and 53 are up next. If 69.25 fails, then you dip to 69.18 and 69.14. Right? The difference between ES and SPX is 49 points. The difference between ES and SPX is 49 points. If you're trading XSP, 691 to 696 is your range there. If you're trading that, there's your range. Put these numbers on your chart, okay? Put these numbers on your chart. Put these numbers on your chart, okay? What I wanted to share with you, though, is that I do a lot of these, as I add the chart back on. A lot of the stuff I talk about here, how do we incorporate Adam? How do we use these things you see on my chart? You see the pivots, you see VWAP, you see moving averages, right? Do I have Discord open? Yeah, I do. I have Discord, and you see this gamma chart over here to the left. You see this gamma chart over here. All of these things are discussed and taught. Not only are they discussed, but I teach them inside of my membership. I teach these things. And how do we use them? How do we use fair value gaps? Right? How do we use these things? Now, these things are used kind of in conjunction. I am an indicator minimalist. right? How do we use these numbers? How do we use the strat? So I'm a kind of an indicator minimalist. I personally am one, because of my own attention deficits. I really know that I have to work with that for myself, which is how I forgot to enter that call on Wednesday because my attention was on something else. But I know these things about me. So I really keep, as best I can, I try to keep my indicators down to a minimum because I can't watch a bunch of stuff at one time because I get distracted. So, but I teach how to use the minimum, the smallest amount of indicators possible, which most of the day you see fair value gaps on here now, these green lines, these green boxes. But a lot of the day I'll have that turned off on my chart because sometimes it just can be too much for me to watch. So many, but I've taught the members, how do we use this? What do these fair value gaps mean? And how can we use them to our advantage? What does VWAP mean? And how can we use that to our advantage? What do these numbers mean? And how do we use these numbers to help us with trade entries and trade exits, right? How do we use these charts? How do we use these big green candles? What does this tell us? What does this tell us? How does this guide us through the day on trading SPX? Because you need a guiding system with SPX. You can't just look at one thing and be like, oh, I got SPX figured out. Yeah, that's a good way to give the market all your money because SPX will snatch it and it does not care. SPX is emotionless and does not care that you toss your money out there and go, yep, I think I got it figured out. You can put thousands of dollars. Your account can be humongous and SPX will take all of it. Okay? Please understand me. Don't feel like because you got a lot of money that's automatically going to make you a great trader because it will not. SPX will take every dime that you send it. Okay? The market, not just SPX, the market in general will take every dime that you give it if you don't know what you're looking at and you don't know how to manage these things. So I said all that to say, I take in the membership, I take all these pieces and I make these pieces make sense. And how do we put these pieces together to pull resources? I've got members in my community who can pull $1,000 a week out of SPX, and they're not doing anything risky. I'm not saying people are like, putting a whole bunch of money in. No, they're trading 2-3 contracts a day and still making $1,000 a week. It's possible, right? You don't have to be super risky and put thousands of dollars into the market every day to make this money. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, right? But I'm going to teach you in the membership, how do you do it? How do we rinse and repeat the money? What are we looking for when we're entering our trades? And what do we do to exit these trades? I teach all of this inside the membership. All right. And I'm not saying, every day is going to be a winning day because some days we make $100. Some days we make $250. Some days we make $1,000. But we're going to try to leave here with something. We're trying to leave here with something. Some days we lose. Some days we don't make nothing. Okay? Because this is the market. And some days, if you don't follow the rules, and some days we don't. Some days we're looking at this chart like this and we're expecting a reversal. And it doesn't come until later. But because we get excited too early, we might enter a reversal too soon, and before you know it, price don't move through your strikes. And because we're prematurely entering, or we're anticipating something that doesn't happen yet, you can end up getting breached. That's never comfortable, but that really comes down to us and our own management. But hey, bro, but what we need is being taught inside the membership is really what I'm trying to say, right? If you want to be taught, and you want to learn how do we use these different pieces and bring it all together to make sure that we are a profitable, consistently profitable trader, that's what I'm teaching inside the membership. How do we get consistently profitable? Because many of us have been profitable, but we can't necessarily say consistent. I want you to be consistently profitable. Not profitable every now and then, consistently, because we want to be able to depend on that $50 or $100 or $200. Maybe you're not trying to replace your income. Everybody's not trying to leave their job. Some people are, Some people just want the extra money to finance something else. Maybe the extra money finances vacation, or finances children in college, or finances, your mom or dad in their retirement, or your mom or dad in their health care. Maybe they're in a nursing home and you need to finance some extra stuff. Maybe this extra money supports your own retirement plan somewhere down the road, right? But you want to be able to depend on the consistency of that money. Perhaps that's what you're working toward, is the consistency of the money. But we want to be able to depend on that. And how are we getting there? We're learning it. We're learning how to consistently look at the market and look at the chart and figure out, where do we enter and where do we exit? Because it's not just the entry. Most of us can figure out where to enter. Even if somebody tells you where to enter, where do you exit? So risk management is a thing, which that's one of our big focuses for next year in my membership, is risk management. What's our sizing like? What's a good size for you? If you only got $1,000, you shouldn't be 2 contracts in. That's all the money you got. If you got $2,000, you shouldn't really be 2 contracts in, because that's half the money, right? So we got sizing. What's your stop loss plan? What's your exit plan? What happens if it does not go on your? How do you know it's not going your way? How are you going to get out? And what's your plan to get out? You don't have to sit there till all the money's gone. You can get out and then get back in with something that's going to work for you. Okay. So in the membership, I think I mentioned that. I mentioned the membership. We've seen it, right? I'm going to add that to the stage. The membership, training, support, I'm there. So I'm not just handing you a bunch of videos saying, go get it. Of course, I paid for programs that did that. Okay. But that's not what I'm doing. When you're in a membership with me, I'm there. I'm teaching every week live. I'm here every day inside of the telegrams and inside of school. I'm here every day trading along with my people. Even though I give alerts, when I give an alert, I'm in that same trade. I'm in the trade. I'm not just sending out alerts saying, y'all go make it happen. No, I'm right there in that same trade. So if we start running into trouble, we're all running into trouble. So y'all know, if I'm still in it, if I'm not saying I'm out, then I'm still there, right? We learn trading and profit the seller's way. 0 DTE, 1 DTE. Okay. Profitable strategy for less screen time. All right. Daily profits to grow your account. That's what we're doing there. All righty. And then we've got copy trading. We've talked about copy trading a few times, which basically is where I'm trading and your account is basically copying mine. Your account basically copies mine. I'm going to place a trade. Your account automatically places the exact same trade. You don't have to do nothing but watch. But even in watching, there is still interest. And my desire is that as you watch, there is interest to learn, because I'm an educator. I want you to learn. So as you watch, you get more interested in what's happening with your money, and you want to learn what's happening. And then that leads you into a place of learning, because that's really what we're after. I'm after teaching you what is happening with your money so that you can acquire the skill. That's really what I want you to have, a long-term skill. So if we start at the place of copy trading, and some people will never get to the place where I'm just fine with copying, no reason, no worries. If you cool with copying from now on, I'm cool with letting you. If at some point you want to start learning, I'm cool to teach you. They both are happening at the same time. Copy trading doesn't replace the membership. The membership does not replace copy trading. They are both happening together. And there are lots of people. When I say lots, there are lots of people who are doing both, who are copy trading and in the membership, and they're doing both at the same time. Okay. People jumping on both. Don't, I'm doing both. I'm cool. All righty. So either one of those, you can see along the bottom, you see the entry for copy trading if you're interested in that. And I'm getting ready to change it. If you want to join the membership, if you want to join the membership, actually you can put it there. It actually goes in the closet, but it can, there's fine. There's fine. Thank you. So yeah, there's that. Let's go to back to the charts. Let's go back to the charts. Okay, let's see what the charts is doing this morning. Because I'm almost at 9 o'clock. I'm on good timing. I'm on good timing. This is SPY. SPY closed on Friday at 690.28, and it's currently at 690.52. So up about 20 cent, 30 cent, right? It's up just a taste from Friday. It's up just a little bit from Friday. I mean, sorry, from Wednesday. It feels like that. We feel like we had a weekend, but it was only a day off. Up a little bit from Wednesday, right? That's SPY. Triple Q closed on Wednesday. Closed on Wednesday at 623.92. It's currently at 624.60. So up a little less than $1, maybe 75 cents. Up about 75 cents. Triple Q is. IWM closed at 252 on Wednesday. Currently at 252.38. So it's down about 30 cents. Down about 30 cents. IWM is. Okay. IWM down about 30 cents. That's what's going on with those. All righty. So we're going to trade accordingly, trade what we see, trade wisely, trade what we see. And if you're not focused, if you're not really watching closely, then you either need to trade lightly or trade not at all. It's Friday. If you've made your money this week, it's all right to not trade at all. If you made your profits for the week, enjoy your Christmas money. And go on and do something else today. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy just chilling out. Or trade very light. Okay? We get to trade. We don't have to trade. That's how that goes. We get to trade. We don't have to trade. All right. I believe I've covered what I was going to cover today. I hit all the stocks. I did my talk. Did all the things. Okay. Then let's go on to our declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses and my accounts growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. Not my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. Y'all be a blessing to others. Not just in this season, but in every season. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right. All right. All right. Okay, you all. We're going to get off here. We're going to do two things today, though. If you are going to trade, I want you to stay green. And if you're going to trade, I want you to get some of this money. But I definitely want you to have a great green day. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the market. Bye, everyone.